What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Storyteller Jet, with another episode of the That's So Fire Talk Show. And today, I have a treat for you. And I have my friend here, Brendan T. Adams, on the show. And I was listening to him for the past 2 hours, recording some videos here in the studio. This guy is so inspirational. He has an incredible story and journey and lots of lessons. So if you want to grow your business, if you want to scale your business, he's also partnered with Kevin Harrington as well. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit as well. So if you are in the season of life or seasons of business where you want to scale your brand and you want to potentially exit it, this show is for you. Let's go, baby. That's so fire. Brendan, welcome to the show.
Hey, I love fire.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. So let's do a quick introduction of who you are. And then one of my favorite part of the show is to talk about the origin story. And I know you have a killer origin story and some other things that we can discuss about that too, because you had a TV show that we're going to be named about that. But let's do a quick introduction, who you are, and a little bit about your business.
Yeah, so co-founder of Big Brand Ventures, co-CEO, Kevin Harrington, Brian Harrington are my partners. I'm like the adopted son, I guess, with the family, the non-Harrington. But we started working together 10 years ago. Fast forward about a year and a half, 2 years ago, we created a brand and company called Big Brand Ventures. And what we do is we scale brands. So primarily brands that are doing a few million in revenue. Our goal is to take them to 9 figures and beyond. I've been involved with one of those brands and a couple in the making right now. But Kevin's done over 20 himself, from products to energy drinks, to you name it, from literally a startup to a brand that's worth over 100 million or doing hundreds of millions in revenue. And that's what we do. So we scale brands and we're venture equity. So we take an equity stake in the company. We become a partner. We provide the human capital. We assist in whether helping them raise capital. We open up distribution and we grow primarily through digital.
Incredible. You guys are doing so many really great things.
Yeah.
I had the amazing opportunity to visit one of the things that you guys are doing, which is called the Shark Retreat.
Yes.
Seeing all the people around the room, the presentations and all the different things, it was drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
And obviously the value that you guys were providing was rival to none. We'll talk a little bit about that too a little bit later, but I would like to know, obviously you're doing some really big things right now, but you did not start where you are at today. So how did your entrepreneurial journey started?
I always say, as soon as I was born on New Year's Eve in 1989, my dad was like, yes, a tax. I could write him off on the taxes. As soon as I got out of my mother's womb, my father put me to work. I worked with my father in a packaged ice business. So he sold frozen water, literally bagged ice that he bought from a manufacturer, wholesale. He would send it to bars, restaurant, Walmart, you name it. And I grew up in that business. So I saw my father as an entrepreneur selling ice for a living. And as I became a teenager, I drove a truck. I was a delivery guy. And I was always doing other entrepreneur things. But the ice business was the core of what I did. And then once I went to college, I was at that time selling moonshine and other things to get my way through college, which I'm past the 10 years, so I think I can't get in trouble for saying that now. But I then graduated and then went into business with my father. And then I found out at an early age, when I was 23, not only did I have the business with my father, but I was working in corporate. I was managing 8 different ice facilities, about 50 employees at the time. It was about a $12 million territory where we sold ice. And so I got to see what it was like to work as a really grunt work entrepreneur. I was delivering ice. I was managing people. My drivers were backing into things. I had to deal with all kinds of problems at 23 years old. And most people that I was the boss of were double or triple my age. So it wasn't easy. But I learned how to really work. But then one day I said to myself, I want to use my brain and not my back. And I had read a book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Go Rich. And my mentor, who now, his name is Cactus Jack Barringer, he led me into the book. He did a deal with Kevin Harrington on Shark Tank. That's how I eventually got connected to Kevin. And that changed how I thought. And so that background in the ice business and working hard was a good part of my life, and it taught me customer relationships, business, work ethic, everything. but it ultimately got me into really online. So one day I said, hey, I wanted to create a product to cool and flavor drinks. It was called Arctic Stick. So it was my invention. Took that product to market, got on the cover of Inventor's Digest. I was on USA Today. I had literally took an idea in my head to napkin, to patents, trademarks, and launched a product that sold. And so sold the product, never really made a lot of money, but I learned product development. I learned marketing. But more importantly, what it led me to was podcasting. This is back in 2014, 15. And it led me to crowdfunding, helping people raise money for their ideas and launch it on the market before they even created it.
Yeah.
And so that happened. And then I got into production because what I found is the key component to raising money was the video we created. So we created a video that got their attention, told a story, and got them to pay people.
Yeah.
And so after I learned that, I started going in front of the camera. I'm like, I want to do more of this stuff, which led to production, which led to TV. And then fast forward, I combined all that and turned it into now what I do today with the Harringtons, where we scale brands.
This is incredible, man. You have such an incredible story and journey. And I know that has probably had a lot of down moments. One of my favorite pictures online is entrepreneurship, and there's like ups and downs and ups and down. I know you were near bankruptcy, and I heard you say earlier that you were like selling the TVs like that you had at home, like your wife were selling like her purse. Can you talk to me? What did rock bottom teach you?
It was 2019. So 2018, I went all in on this TV show called Success in Your City. It was literally traveling the country and answering the question, what is success? We would fly in a film crew to the different cities we went to. My wife and I were the co-hosts, and we filmed and we created the show. Now, we were producing it, we were funding it, had our team editing it, we were literally host everything. And we did that show, went all in, literally sold our house, everything we owned, we went all in. That year, we got married, we ended up winning some Emmy Awards, we had all these great things that happened. And what happened is 2019 came, and I literally put everything I had in the show. I had some business. I was in the process of selling the business that it did not go well. Everything hit me at once. And the old robbing Peter to pay Paul. I was using one money for one thing to pursue another, and it caught up with me. And just being really transparent, all entrepreneurs probably experience in one way or another. It got so bad where I'll never forget it. There was two moments that was rock bottom. One, I was about to get on a plane to go to Tokyo, and I was speaking at an event. And the banker talked to me literally right before I got on the plane. He said, Brandon, we got to look at your finances, because I was good at being able to raise capital. But like I was raising capital for other things, and it wasn't working. And the banker said, like, you may want to consider filing bankruptcy. And that was the first time I'm like, what? I thought to myself, what? You know what I mean? And it wasn't until about like 7-8 months later, I went through this process. I'll never forget it. I was back home. I was with my parents. And my wife was in Minnesota. I was living in Minnesota at the time. I was in Iowa. And that's where I'm originally from, Iowa. And my wife said, I don't know where the vehicle's at. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know where it's at. I realized I was like 4 months behind on my car payment.
Wow.
They repossessed the vehicle. I'll never forget it, because in that moment, I hung up. I ran downstairs into the bedroom where I grew up, and I started crying and screaming, and freaking out. My parents knew something was wrong. And I said, I will never feel like this again. I will make so much fucking money. I'm going to be successful, and I never want to feel like this again. And that was the beginning of a mindset, because it wasn't done yet. I mean, following that, we were selling things off our walls. I was selling the furniture. I was selling everything I had just to get enough money for food and to pay rent that I was late on. And it's not an easy feeling, because my wife was depressed. I felt like a loser, and I had just won these Emmys and achieved this award, but I had no money. And so what I did is every day I woke up, I went to the gym, that dealt with my problems. And then I picked up the phone, I called people, I did programs, I sold things, I still posted on social media, and I lived this life. And 18 months in, I eventually was doing more with the Harringtons, and that was my break. And so went from $500,000 in the hole to a multi-million portfolio within 24 months.
Wow.
And that was the beginning of KBAT, now KBAT Holdings, which became Big Brand Ventures. And that was literally what saved me. And it was not easy, and most people don't talk about it, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because if that wouldn't have happened, I don't think I would have been prepared for what is for me to come today.
Yeah, man, that is an incredible story and incredible journey. Like, I absolutely love those like comeback stories as well.
Yeah.
And this is why the show exists to capture those like amazing moments of people that hit rock bottom and now kind of being the success that they are.
Yeah.
Man, and congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
You know, the question too, like people like, oh, you're successful or whatever. It's like, what is success? For me, I'm living my own version. Like I'm getting better every day. I'm helping people. I'm being the best father, or not father. I say father. I have kids in my life that they're not biological to me. I treat them like my own. Be the best uncle. Be the best husband. Be the best CEO. I always ask, how can I be the best me? And when I become the best me, that brings my own success, right? I think that's important for everybody. It's like people talk about success, because think about it. When I had won the Emmys and I was speaking on stages, and I felt like a failure. I had no money to provide for myself, let alone my wife. And so it's interesting. You think of the word success. What does it even mean? It's different to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. If you are tuning in the show right now and you have questions that you want to ask Brendan as well, please make sure to provide them in the chat over here. I'll make sure to ask them as well. So we just talked about like you're hitting rock bottom. For anybody that may be watching this, that may be going through those hard moments right now, what advice would you have for them?
First off, simple is just keep going. I know that sounds like, okay, I get it, Brendan. We'll just keep going. It's like, every day just waking up and doing the one thing, or to make yourself feel better, go for a run or go for the gym, because it changes your state of mind. And then do the little things every day that help you build up that momentum. And from a financial standpoint, since I was so deep in the hole, the thing that allowed me to find wins is I would pay off little debts here and there. So once I would pay one off, I'd feel accomplished. And I put a plan in place. So it's putting a plan in place, but also surround yourself with the right dream team and advisory board. At that point, I had the mentors like Kevin Harrington or others in my corner that I called. And it was never, I'm not looking for money. I'm looking for guidance and advice. I know in your career you've experienced the same thing. What did you do? What do you think I should do? And that helped me. So being able to go to people and little things, what you listen to, the videos you watch, extreme motivational videos like Ben Lionel, he has some kind of motivation on Spotify. I listen to that every morning. I used to listen to it then as well. These little things would change my state of thought and mind, which would allow me to forget about the current situation that was only temporary. So stay motivated and stay surrounded by the right people, because it's easy to have the wrong person by you that says, you know what, just file bankruptcy. Just go get a 9-to-5. Mm-hmm. I was close to thinking about that. And that's how bad it was, but I didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just touched on a little bit about that and what you just said, mindset. Can you share with me what you did to improve your mindset? Because obviously going through that tough situation, it takes a toll on your mindset. So what were some of the things that you did day in and day out to really help you reframe your mindset so you can kind of get back on the saddle?
A lot of repetition and doing things. Like momentum builds opportunity, and doing the things for me was, okay, exercise every day. I know I go back to that, but like going to the gym, going for a run, these different things would change my state of mind, because I would wake up in the morning early and I would feel depressed in a way. I'd feel like a loser, like I failed. And so like, how did I solve that? I call it the devil in my head. I went to the gym and listened to crazy music and just like did something hard, push-ups, all that. So that was one part. Okay, then what did I do? Every day I did, at that time, it was like 30 reach outs via DM. I created videos. I did calls. I followed up on contacts. I picked up my phone and messaged people. I was doing all the different things that would lead to an income producing thing. Because when you start making money, that provides opportunity and helps you solve your current situation. So I think the biggest thing is doing pure action, taking massive action and doing it in a way that's going towards something and not forgetting the situation you're in, acknowledging it and knowing it's temporary there, but then putting a plan in place to get out of it.
Yeah.
Most people, they get so consumed by that current experience that they fold and they don't do anything about it and they forget about it. You have to tackle the problem face on, solve it, and just one thing. One mentor told me, he said, it's just a piece of the puzzle. You're solving different pieces of the puzzle. Eventually the puzzle will be solved.
Boom. I love that. You touched on something I feel like that is very important because when some people might be facing hard times, they just kind of, okay, let's focus on building a new offer or let's create a new website. But you mentioned a little bit about focusing on revenue generating activities.
Yeah.
Can you share with me what are some of revenue generating activities that some people can do to ensure that they grow their business?
Yeah, so it depends on what business you have. I mean, for me, when I had to start over, the thing I knew is consulting, mastermind, speaking, because I had experience. I had made millions. I had produced TV shows. I had done the things that business people like, how do I figure out? But I also built a brand. So I took it what I knew. Okay, here's my expertise. Here's my experience. So I have the ability to talk about it. Now, maybe I don't have money in my bank account right now, but I have the ability to talk about it. And so what I did is I sold packages around that. I sold high-end consulting. I sold masterminds. I sold speaking gigs. I sold anything that I could educate people to help them solve their problems that I would get paid for. And then once I did more of that, that gave me some money. So depending, like wherever you're at right now, first look at what is the value you have and what is the current things you've accomplished in your life. Based on that, who's willing to pay for it? And maybe it's a service or consulting, or maybe that's a product. I mean, in this day and age, you can literally get a product, you could find a way to source it and sell it online with AI, create a landing page in a day and make money. There's no reason you cannot make money in today's day and age. If you can't, you're lazy or you're delusional. Like, we live in a world where anybody can make money. Anybody. If let's put it this way. If you have the ability to have a phone, you have the ability to make money. And so that's what I would do. And then I would also have people pay for something even before you create it. Because if they pay for it, that means they want it. And then once you have something paid for, you're going to figure out how to bring the best value to them. Mm-hmm. So put a landing page up, see if people would pay them out. And then once they pay you, deliver it and rinse and repeat.
Yeah. It sounds to me that you invested a lot of content and you invested a lot in content creation to really help you grow your business. How important do you believe content creation is in the day and age that we live in?
It's everything. So what I did early on, I filmed for days. I filmed since I was 20 years old. I'm 36 now. I filmed videos in front of a Canon 70D that I gave motivational tips and everything. And then I started filming TV shows. My first show was called Ambitious Adventures. We had to deal with Entrepreneur Network. We had Jake Paul, Jack Canfield, Lewis Howes, all these people on it. And then I did a show called Live to Grind. That was just an Apple TV thing, but we had a show filming everything I did. Then I filmed the show Success Your City. Then we did the Think and You're Rich film. And then we did other shows. But I had so much content. So when I started over, I have at my home probably 30 hard drives of content of me. And I would go through, because back then, because I had things go wrong, I couldn't afford an editor. I would cut up stuff myself and start posting online that would build awareness to people that didn't know who I was. And that content creation in my past content history was the brand perception. It was a brand of who Brandon was. And that allowed me to show myself as a personal branding expert, as a crowdfunding expert, as a business expert, which allowed me to sell programs. And so content is so important because I say if you have a brand, you could start over tomorrow and you have your brand to lean back on. Because if me, Brandon T. Adams, the co-CEO of Big Brand Ventures, we build and scale brands, if that was all white for me tomorrow and I no longer was scaling brands, what would I have? I would have all the people on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube that know me, that like me, and trust me. they're willing to buy something I'm willing to offer. So if I provide a great value or service, they're going to buy it from me versus somebody else in most cases because they believe in me. If you can build a digital footprint and get enough people to like you, trust you, and believe in you, they will buy from you no matter what you do.
Absolutely. So for anybody that is watching that might be on the fence about building their personal brand or start creating content, what would you tell them?
You can avoid doing it, but if you like money and if you like opportunity, by building the brand, it's going to make everything easier. You can still do it without doing it, but by building the brand and building awareness online, it'll make everything else in your life easier. Everything. Yeah. So you choose your path. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to build the brand, then hire somebody that will build it for your company.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the cool, and we kind of share similar, I guess, passion there, but one of the cool things that I saw you present at the last Shark Retreat is kind of like the types of content that people should be creating.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of people just like focus on value, but you talked about origin story. You talked about a bunch of other types of content that basically help them build a personal brand.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that a little bit?
I'll just start spitballing. So there's like story content, telling your story. There's value add content, sharing your area expertise, your best tips. There's testimonial content, sharing case studies and stories of people you've helped be successful. There's behind the scenes lifestyle content, what I call is like having your own reality TV show. So like, hey, I'm recording today. I'm going to the gym. It's bringing people into your life. So it's that impromptu stuff. Then there's fun, entertaining content association. So one of the videos you saw in there is one of my friends is Rob Angel. He created Pictionary. So I did a video with Rob Angel. We're playing Pictionary, and then we made a lesson behind it. Who doesn't want to see the founder of Pictionary play Pictionary? So intriguing stuff. I look at it as you are the producer of your own show, your own film. Every day when you travel to a studio, you travel to a city, you go to your office, that is your studio. That is your landscape. That is the film people are watching. So if you bring people into that film and entertain them, inspire them, educate them, motivate them, create some kind of emotion, they're going to get to know you and they're going to want to keep watching your film.
Yeah.
And so that's how I look at it, and be creative, be yourself, and have fun with it.
Absolutely. Obviously, we just touched on your origin story. How important it is for people to share the origin story, and what would that do? What would that do for them when they are vulnerable in sharing, their story?
There's a million experts out there. And obviously, if you're a top expert in any field, whatever it was, so I was an expert crowdfunding, a million crowdfunding experts. What made me different than the rest? Back then, I had wrote a book on it. I had a podcast on it. But also, I had me and my story. Over my career, I've always been someone to like, as an experiment, watch the data on people that follow me, that like me, that work with me. And I asked them, why'd you watch? Why did you hire me? What'd you like about me? What this and that? And what I found is people worked with me sometimes because they could relate with me. Small town. Grew up in a town of 700 people from Iowa. I grew up troubled times, almost went bankrupt, experienced this hardship, worked in the ice business as a delivery guy, whatever that was. And they could relate to that person in the story. And if they could relate to the person in the story, they're more likely to want to work with me because we have a commonality. Mm-hmm. Whether we both went to the same school together, we both grew up in a small town, we both had troubles in life. And so when I share origin story, it's very important to share that because people see you as a person and no longer as this person up here. So when I understood that, one of the things I wanted to do a couple years ago, I really wanted to create a film and documentary on my life. And I wanted to share the story who Brandon T. Adams was. But not just told by me, but told by my family members, told by my friends back home, told by my mentors, told by people I've worked with. And we created this documentary, and it's called Beyond Small Town Dreams. You can watch on Amazon. And it shares from the early days, and I took footage from the last decade, from when I filmed the show to filming around the country to then a very focused interviews and filming, so documentary style. And now, for one, the purpose of me wanting to create that is I always wanted to do it so I can go inspire somebody who lives in a small town to go live out their dreams. Whether they know Brandon or not, doesn't matter. I'm just a character in the story. But two, that was used. If anybody ever looks to form in a big partnership with us at Big Brand Ventures, we're looking to become equity partners. I say, hey, watch my documentary so you can get to know who I am before you choose to look into doing business with us. And they watch it and they instantly are like, oh my God, I can relate with you so much. I want to meet your father. I like this and that. So it's no longer just business. It's human to human. Mm-hmm. That's the importance of an origin story. That's the importance of creating a story on your life. And whether you create a documentary or not, at least start telling your story and sharing that with the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was one of the stories or documentary that you created. You created so many other ones, and
many others.
Some of them won Emmy Awards too.
Yes.
So throughout that journey, by creating all of those different things, what did that teach you? What was one big lesson that you've learned through that journey that is serving you well today?
We're all humans that are trying to figure it out. We all are looking for purpose and happiness in life. And out of the stories from won multiple Emmys, from the story on Shea Hillenbrand, a baseball player who top of his game, made millions, lost all his money, to my own wife. We have a documentary called Red Flags that was on her life of leaving a very abusive relationship and drug addiction to starting over and creating her own life too. I mean, I could tell you many stories. Homeless, we interviewed everybody, to billionaires, to everything. The core theme around it was helping people and using their abilities and purpose to bring value to the world. That's what lit them up, whether it was doing it through a sport, through business, whatever it was. So I think what I learned is we all got to find our purpose. And again, what is success to us? It changes, I think. And when your 20s is different to 30s to 40s. What is success to you in that time in your life? And how can you use your God-given gifts to bring that value to the world? I believe that's what success is, and that's what happiness is, and that's what I learned. And yeah, I learned all how to create a show and win the Emmys and all that stuff, but like what I really learned that got me the most value was what is really success.
Yeah.
And what do I want to spend this life doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So can you share with me, how did Big Brand Venture came about?
Yeah. So Big Brand Ventures, 10 years ago, I met Kevin. Funny story how I met him was I was failing speech comp class at Iowa State University, and to get extra credit, I had to go listen to this inventor about his endeavors. His name is Cactus Shack Behringer. He talked to me about all these inventions they had. He made millions from a cleaner product to an arm wrestling machine to you name it, he created it. And he showed the sizzle reel. This was back in season 2 of Shark Tank. And it was a video of him doing a deal in Shark Tank with Barbara Corcoran and Kevin Harrington. And I watched it. And I'm like, that's so cool. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do business with that Kevin Harrington guy one day. And I was 22 at the time. And I ended up meeting Cactus Shack after the presentation. I'm like, I love your stuff. And I'm like, any advice? He's like, go read the book by John Siegel. It was something about seagulls. It was interesting. And then he was also read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it challenged my mind to think about what I could think my way into. And I read that book, and then I ended up getting Cactus Shack as a mentor. And Cactus Shack became my mentor, but I knew he had done business with Kevin Harrington. Through that, I eventually got an email and sent a personal video to Kevin, and that ended up being about 11 years ago or so. And so then I met Kevin. Now, how did Big Brand Ventures come about? Well, we did an event together. It really started with an event in Iowa called Young Entrepreneur Convention. I brought all these speakers. Kevin was one of them. Through that event, we launched a book together that we co-authored called Put a Shark in Your Tank, which is all about if you have a shark in your tank, you're going to be more successful. One of the co-authors of that book was a guy named Daniel Patton, who had a product called Peeps. Peeps is an eyeglass cleaner that came to one of our events, now we call Shark Retreats. And that product went, he said, hey, this is your next home run product. That event led to a partnership. That product went from $1 million to, I think it's done about $200 million now in revenue. That was one of our first partnerships. Since then, Kevin and I have won Emmys together for shows. We've traveled the world together. We've been on jets that took us to the wrong city in Mexico before. We've launched products. We've rang the bell. We've seen the ups, the downs. And about 5 years ago, we made it more official. We created a business called KBAT, which is just our name, Kevin, Brandon, Brian Advisory Team, nothing special. We started doing more consulting, investing in the video side of things. And about 3 years ago, Brian and I, the co-CEOs, that's Kevin's son, we said, you know what? We want to take this big. Like, we want to do something bigger. We've scaled business, but we want to scale our own business. We had about 8 people at the time. And we said, let's build a powerful team and let's really grow this. So that was in July 11th of 2024. We came up with the name Big Brand Ventures. We merged our companies at the time, Accelerate Media Group and Kevin Harrington Enterprises. We hired some of the more people. We brought on a team. We have about 30 now. We brought on advisors. We brought on strategic investors. And now, Big Brand Ventures, we're venture equity. We're scaling product-based brands, and we also sit on boards of other companies, tech companies, social media companies, but we scale them, and the goal is to take them to 9 or 10 figures. Now, we've done one of them together. We've got multiple in our portfolio right now on the pathway to that, and we scale products. And some of them come to us where they're at a little less than $1 million, a couple of million revenue. We get involved. Some of them we raise capital for. We're running their marketing. We're getting them into retail. That's how Big Brand Ventures came about. And it's been a roller coaster ride, but it all started with me failing speech comp class. Because if I wasn't failing speech comp class, I would have never saw Kevin Harrington, and I would have never met him and never partnered with him. So it goes to show you sometimes the things that aren't that great in life turn out to be good things.
Absolutely, 100%. Actually, now like meeting, you said Ken Field, that was his
Cactus Jack Behringer, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Cactus Jack Behringer.
I know.
You wanted to like, I guess, invest in with him to be.
I got
your
him
coach.
as a mentor.
As a mentor.
He's my consultant.
Yeah, and you were paying him like $500 a
So
month.
I dropped. My parents saw it was a scam because I was from a small town of 700 people. I didn't know what mentorship was, but because I read the book Think and Grow Rich, it talked about you got to find other people who have achieved what you want to achieve and get them in your life. And for me, I was an aspiring inventor. I had a product, and I knew a famous inventor who had made a lot of money could help me. And he's like, my fee's 10 grand up front, and it's 500 a month. And I didn't have the money at the time, but I thought that's not my excuse. I literally back then had a poster, and that was my business plan, and went around to family members and friends and said, here's the business opportunity. Here's what I'm offering. Here's what you get in return for your investment. Within 6 weeks, I raised a 10 grand. And I threw down cash. Went to his house in Ames, Iowa, threw down the cash he handed out. And every month I sent him a check back then, sending checks, $500 a month. Did it for 3 years.
That's incredible.
And that was the best investment because he got me on my first pilot run of a TV show called America's Got Money. He got me to my first mentors. He got me my first manufacturer. He got my product on the market for me. And he ultimately led me to Kevin Harrington, which now the rest is history. And one of the coolest things in my life, I look at moments, is 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, he said, I want to do my last speech at Iowa State University. I want you to come with me. And in front of the Iowa State University, I went up and I spoke and I said, you're in these chairs here today. I was you 10 years ago, whatever, 12 years ago. And this speech could change your life. And he gave his last talk. He said, that's my last talk I'm ever going to do. And it was. He was in the papers. And after the talk was done, he gave me this coolest thing. He handed me a copy of Think and Grow Rich from 1942. Is one of the first 10,000 copies.
Wow.
It was old. It had writing in it. And I have it. I don't know. I would never sell it. You couldn't give me $1 million for that book. And it was a book that he had given to him. And he's written in it for he's 84 now, the last 60 years. And so I read that book time to time, and it gives me the answer to my problems. It gives me the pathway. It's one of the coolest things in my life to have my mentor give that to me.
Yeah.
And it's because he said I was one of his greatest successes.
Yeah. For anybody that is watching that might be afraid of investing in a mentor, what would you say to them?
I would say, if you find the right mentor, do it, because you can't afford not to. You have to. And people have the mindset, I do it myself. If you do it yourself, you're going to pay way more money, spend more money, more heartache, and more years. If you get the right people and you figure out Trust me. Like, I've been in points where I almost had to sell my truck to afford something, but I did it to invest in myself and my future. And when you do that, it always pays off. Now, it might not happen in a year or 2 years, but when you go to 3, 4, 5, 10 years, that's when you get the domino effect.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So do it. You got to do it. Like, otherwise, you're playing a small game.
Yeah. So I know we don't have a lot of time for the
Yeah.
show. I have like a gazillion question that I wanted to ask you.
Let's go.
Like some of them, like, including like raising money
Yeah.
for businesses and all of this stuff. But I'm going to move to the last stage of the talk show and asking you some like rapid fire questions.
Yep.
So the first one, if you had to go back to day one, what advice would you have given to your younger self?
Don't. You're going to overestimate what you can do in 1 to 2 years. You're definitely going to underestimate what you can do in 5 to 10 years. If you realize what you can accomplish in 10 years, you're going to be good. Like 10 years, you can accomplish so much. And just make sure you get the right people around you along the way.
Awesome. If you had to go back to the time that you were about to file for bankruptcy,
Yeah.
what would you have done differently during that period of time?
You know, I think I did everything the way I should have. It laid out, but maybe I would have came to reality sooner of what the situation really was. But the only way I really was going to get that was getting it smacked right in my face. Sometimes the only way we can learn is getting it smacked right in our face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the biggest mistake that you see a lot of entrepreneurs that wants to grow their business to exit it in the future? What is the biggest mistake that you see that they make?
They underestimate how long it's going to take and how much money it's going to take. And they don't understand or start delegating or attracting and bringing talent on their team that are very talented. Like, part of my job is find very talented people and getting them to be a part of the vision and helping them be successful, because you can't do it yourself. You got to be great at attracting talent and then sharing the vision and then repeating, but also focusing your energy, for me as a CEO, on the things that are going to bring the biggest impact to the business.
Awesome. One of your role at Big Brand Ventures is to help businesses scale to 9 figures. What would you say are the key components to help a business scale from 0 to 9 figures?
Our biggest thing is customer acquisition and understanding the lifetime value of a customer. So testing marketing campaigns, understand what it costs to acquire a customer. So let's say it costs me $40 to acquire a $100 customer. That's good. Okay, got that. But how can I maximize the lifetime value where that customer keeps paying me? Continuity, recurring revenue, subscription base. And so that's the core of our business model. Once we can identify what it costs to acquire a customer in digital standpoint, ROAS, return on ad spend, if I could spend $1,000 to get 3,000 back, what if I spend $10,000 to get 30,000 back, and so on. So that's one thing. Understanding your customer value, the value of the customer and what it costs to acquire it. Then once you do that, you can either grow steady or you can raise capital and grow fast. And you got to make sure you utilize the capital effectively to build out the value of the business and understand where you're going. Are you going to exit it? You're going to go public? You want to have this business forever? Have the end goal in mind.
Yeah.
But you should always build a business if you're going to sell it. And in order to sell the business, it has to be a business that can live without you.
Yeah. What is the biggest mistake that you see a lot of people that are looking for that investment in their business, like a venture equity or whatever?
Yeah.
What is the biggest mistake that you see those people make when they are looking for investors?
They go straight to, they wanted money from you. Go for advice instead of the money first. Share your confidence and belief in where you're going, your value proposition, and talk to a lot of people. A lot of people constantly go right to the money. Like, hey, I'm raising money, you want to invest? Like, play the long game. It takes time to build trust, especially if you're asking for somebody to wire you $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, $5 million. Like, that's their hard-earned money. So build a relationship and have the expectation set and then show them progress and let them be the one to say, how can I invest in you?
Boom. If you had to pick one book or one person or one resource that has made the biggest difference for you, what would that be?
Book, definitely Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, or the other book is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Two great books. And then for me, listening to positive mindset, like tracks and motivational videos, and just to keep my mind right.
Yeah, you're talking about mind, and I would say, a big part of that is habit. What are your daily habits to ensure that you're as successful that you are today?
Discipline, exercise, and get my mind right. This morning, wake up at 4 a.m. Depending where I'm at in the world, I'll wake up at 4. Between 4 and 6:15, 6:30 is prayer/work. Like, nobody's slacking me, nobody's digging me, nobody's bothering me. I'm doing work, creativity. From 6:30 to 7:30, I'm exercising, run, gym, whatever it is. 7:30, sometimes I'll have a meditation session. Then I go into shower, start my day. By 8:15, 8:30, I've done more in my day. I've had 4.5 hours, 5 hours in, and people are waking up. The rest of the day, I'm whatever my goal is, whether meetings, stacking my calendar, doing my thing, and then that's it. Go to bed by 9:30, do it again. Rinse and repeat. It's how you started your day is how the rest of your day is determined. And I no longer drink alcohol because that would affect me in the morning. I'm kind of boring. I mean, really, I don't go out. If I do, it's with colleagues for business. I've learned to get my mind straight and create my energy where I'm productive so I can get the most out of every single day.
Yeah. One of the questions that we ask everybody from the show is, what is your $1 million advice?
My $1 million advice or $1 billion advice here.
I need to change that to, what is your $1 billion
$1 billion
advice?
advice. It's this. Find somebody who's already achieved what you want to achieve. Bring value to them and figure a way to get into business with them, because they will ultimately create that as your reality. You will become that reality. Find your top expert. You want to become a gold Olympic athlete? Find the gold Olympic athlete, get to train with them. You want to find a $1 billion business person? Learn from a $1 billion business. Find somebody who's already achieved it. Learn from them, get into business with them, and do it in your own way.
Absolutely. One other thing that we share is the brand, the personal brand.
Yeah.
You always be wearing black, and I'm always wearing red, red glasses, red shoes, red shirt. Why did you decide to focus on that specifically where, you only wearing black? And I absolutely love that video that you shared that one time on your story, Instagram story, where you kind of give everybody a peek of the closet as well with all the black clothing you have in there.
So early in my career, I was reading a lot of books. One is Steve Jobs' audiobook. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like 23 hours long. I listened to that. I listened to Gary Keller's One Thing. And Gary Keller, black. Keller Williams, he wore black every day. Or even Zuckerberg wore gray t-shirt. And Steve Jobs, black. The reason why they did it is they didn't want to waste their brain power to think about what they had to wear, and they conserved it for things that would help them achieve their goal. I know that sounds a little crazy. Some people call it lazy. I call it genius. And so I started in 2017 wearing I Had a Live to Grind shirt because that was my brand, a podcast. I wore that every day. And then I transitioned when I was filming our show in 2018. I got tired of wearing all these different outfits for 5 scenes we filmed in a day. So I started wearing black. And then I realized, what? I'm just going to start wearing black. And I just stuck with it. And that was 8 years ago. And so every single day, I have about 40 of these black pairs of jeans, about 60 of these black t-shirts, about 5 of these black sneakers, and I have 5 black jackets. Yes, black socks, black underwear, all of it. And all black every day. Same thing. Same thing. So what am I doing? It's become a part of who I am and my brand and my reality, my super ego. But also, I don't have to think about anything else.
Yeah.
Easy when I travel. And so that's become my thing. Now, I'm not saying to do that. Everybody's got their thing, but it's my thing. And it's who I am.
Yeah. So a couple more questions and we'll be concluding the show today. We definitely need to do a part 2.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think there's so much that we could have talked about, but from your journey from almost like, hitting, bankruptcy to now helping a bunch of different brands scale to 9 figures, what is one lever that you believe that can help people grow their business to 9 figures? And what is that?
Oh, there's so many things, but I think the biggest thing, I say your dream team or advisory board. You cannot do it alone. You need to make sure you have the right people in your business that are incentivized. Big Brand Ventures, everybody that's been here for at least a year, are shareholders of Big Brand Ventures. Means when the company wins, they win. And so when they all have that same drive and mission and incentivization, they all want to succeed. It's like their own business. And so that get other people to make your vision part of their vision.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like people that you hire too. If you want to scale your brand and you want to achieve that, you can actually come and hire Big Brand Ventures to help you with that.
But in to that point, like for our business, we're scaling a product. We have the top digital marketing experts. We have the top infomercial experts. I mean, they created the infomercial industry. We have the top storytelling experts. We got the influencers. We got the capital ability to raise. We have all the things needed at the highest level, access to retail. Everything you need to have success, they're on our team or they're on our board. So when you have that, you can't lose. I mean, they got to put the work in and everything, but like that's the ultimate thing in success. And any business, you need the experts in areas that you're not good at and learn to delegate those experts towards a common goal.
Yeah. So what types of businesses that you're looking to serve with Big Brand Ventures?
Product-based. So anything product, consumer products, like some brands in our portfolio. We have a juice brand called Drink Blocks for kids. We have a canned water called Aquabiato. We have a vodka brand called Dirty Girl Vodka brand. We have Elixir, which is a THC-infused drink. We have a toilet cleaner, which is cleans toilet every time you flush. We have a sunburn drink. You get sunburn, you take it, literally your sunburn goes away. And by the way, it works. I believe it after I did it. We have consumer products and other gadgets and products that make your life easier. And people that have those kind of products that have proven it out, that have done, at least in most cases, $1 million in revenue, we come in and we can provide all those things you need to scale it to that 9-figure business.
Awesome. For anybody watching this that may want to learn more about Big Brand Ventures and how they potentially could do business with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, because we built our brand online and we put a lot of content out there, you can literally find us everywhere. YouTube, you name it, but bigbrandventures.com. If you want to come tend to a shark retreat, sharkretreat.com. And I'm Brandon T. Adams. You can find me everywhere on social media. I did that on purpose. Has its pros and cons, but find me at brandonTadams.com.
Yeah. What would you say is your that's so fire moment that is going to, I know you have some massive goal that you're going to be achieving. What would you say that has been your that's so fire moment that you know that everything is possible, that you're going to be achieving those big dreams?
My that's so fire moment will be within the next 7 years. And that's so fire will be Big Brand Ventures is valued at over $1 billion. And beyond that, that's so fire moment is when I go on Shark Tank as a shark and I make deals and invest in other products on live TV.
Boom. There you have it. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Brendan, such a pleasure having you on the show.
Man.
I look forward to maybe do a part 2 for that because there are so many things that I would like to touch on that we didn't get a chance to talk about today. But that was incredible. You have a very inspiring journey from the things that you were doing right now. And, super grateful also to have you in the studio.
Grateful.
And coming.
I love this studio, dude. I'll be back every month.
There you go. There you have
Maybe
it.
every week soon.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Any parting message?
No, thank you for allowing me on the show. And already out there, just stick with it. Keep going. Do what you love. Put in the work, and the rest will do itself.
Boom. There you have it. Don't forget to follow him on social media, Brendan T. Adams on all social media platforms. Or if you have a product-based business that you want to get, a shark and Brendan to take a look over, definitely reach out to Big Brand Ventures. And there you have it. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
You know what it is? That's so fire.